Warning. Warning.
This show contains mature content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
One angry New York City Puerto Rican decided to start a radio show, determined to piss the world off by shoving a mirror in front of society's face. He kicked them in the balls.
What are you? Who are you?
This is the Crotch Shot Radio Show. Crotch Shot Radio Show.
This is not a test. This is a broadcast transmission.
We're going to stay on the air.
And now, the Whippy.
Welcome to the Crotch Shot Radio Show, where we kick the issues in the balls. We're on an active war against bullshit. We would do anything and everything to expose bullshit. The ends sometimes justify the memes. So if you're angry and want the truth exposed, then strap in and prepare to be shocked. This is Smash Mouth Talk. If you can't accept that, then fuck off. I'm your host, Louis B. I takes no bullshits from no one's. I actually expose the bullshit of the society and chop it up into easy to digest chunks for you. Today will not be any different. Today I have a special guest, but let's let her intro take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing writer, reporter, and producer of The War Room on Infowars, mixing it up at the border to expose leftist lies. I present to you su chica mexicana, Savanah la Doña Hernandez.
Oh my goodness. I love that. Thank you.
There you go. And I had to throw in a little Spanish there.
Hey, no, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you.
So, did I get it right? ¿Tú eres mexicana?
Yes, beautiful, beautiful.
Good, good. So, which means by state law, by New York state law, I have to play this.
You're wild, dude.
I try.
I love it. I love it.
So, you're the third Info Warrior I've had on the show. I had Owen, I had Joe, and now you. So, welcome.
Awesome. Well, it's an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor to have you on. So, first real serious question I have, and I asked this to Owen. I don't know if you spoke to him about this.
No, I kept it all in the DL, so that way I could just put it out on my Twitter later. It'd be a total surprise.
Cool.
Actually, I just retweeted you, so it's not a complete surprise. But I haven't talked to anybody about it.
All right, good. So, okay, my first question, and this is a similar question I asked Owen. Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker, Barack Obama.
Oh my gosh.
Marry, kiss, or jail? You have to marry one, kiss one, and jail the other.
So who am I looking at? Cory Booker, Beto O'Rourke, or who?
Barack Obama.
Obama, okay. Honestly, Obama looked like a really good husband to Michelle, so I would say marry Obama, kiss Beto, because I low-key think that he's kind of cute. I don't know why, I just do. I think it's because he was skateboarding around Whataburger, and your girl loves Whataburger, so whatever. And then I would, kill Cory Booker, because he really annoys me, He was on The Breakfast Club the other week, and
jail, okay.
I don't know. I just really can't with that man. Everything he says is just really, really stupid. So, yeah. That one was pretty easy, actually.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, in fact, hold on. I want to, I should have had this shit ready. But let me play you Owen's response. It was hilarious.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I actually did listen to his response to that question because I was listening to his interview with you, and it was hilarious because I think he was just totally caught off guard, and I love that. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, play it.
Yeah. Okay, let me. Should I scroll? All right. So while that's loading, so I mean, I know you work for Infowars, but what is your political stances? What are your political stances?
That is a really good question. So my parents are primarily conservative. They both identify as Republicans, and I guess because of their political beliefs, I would lean more right. But you know, I never really got into politics, which is really funny. I graduated from college in 2017, and this was the first job that I got outside of college because we all know how hard it is to break into, you know, media and journalism. So I finally got this job. I've always been interested in politics, and working here kind of has helped me really understand my stance towards it. So a lot of people, I think, especially millennials, like to say they're libertarian. I guess I would say that's what I am. You know, I think that we all should have our individual rights. And now looking more into the Democratic and the Republican Party, it's also corrupt and muddy. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a really open-minded person, though, and I really like talking politics to anyone who will listen and, you know, who can inform me on why they think the way they do. So, I don't know. Just, I guess, if that answered the question at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm exactly the same way. I mean, my parents, my dad, he's well, he doesn't vote, but he leans more Democrat.
Right.
So on that side of the family, I'm a black sheep. My mom's side, well, most of her family leans Democrat, but my mom's not political at all because she's a Jehovah's Witness.
I see.
So I'm a even blacker sheep.
I feel you there. My family definitely is the only family, or yeah, I guess in our big family because, you know, so we're Mexican and I'm also Chamorro. My mom is from the island of Guam, so her side of the family is also huge. And a big portion of our family like hates Trump. Honestly, a lot of them don't even know where I work. They just, you know, they think I'm a reporter and I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm not going to get into it with you guys because I don't want to fight politics. Like I hate fighting with people about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm very like low key about my political beliefs right now. I guess in terms of that with my family.
So they argue they think that you either work with Telemundo or Univision.
No, not that necessarily. I just told them that I work for, you know, an independent media company online, and they're just like, oh, that's cool, that's dope. And, you know, I mean, I do talk politics with my family sometimes, but of course, again, just my family comes from California over there, and they really hate Trump.
Yep. I get
you
that.
know how that is.
Yep. Like my dad is always like, oh no, they're gonna bomb who is the dictator of Puerto Rico, to tell you the truth, if you see a picture of him. He's, you know, he's like, oh, all they're going to do is blow it up. And I'm like, where did you hear this? Telemundo. I'm like, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That whole network went down as soon as Don Francisco quit his Sábado Gigante show. And you don't know what I'm talking about, don't you?
You know what? Not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I don't speak Spanish, so I didn't really watch like Telemundo or anything like that. But I mean, in terms of like mainstream media and CNN, you know, MSNBC, I feel like it's probably like the same thing. So I get that.
Well, actually, Sábado Gigante or Big Saturday is a variety show. It has comedy and all that, and in the middle,
okay.
Yeah, so they'll have like different like skits and stuff. It's kind of like Saturday Night Live-ish.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but it was on for years, and yeah. So, anyways, let me play you Owen's clip, just to remind everybody. My first question. Let's start off with a very serious question. Linda Sarsour, Ocasio-Cortez, and Stormy Daniels. Fuck, marry, or kill?
What? I can't play that game. Then whatever one I kill, they'll print some story. Infowars reporter talks about murdering journalist or candidate. Oh my gosh! So let's.
Okay, so
I'll tell you what. I'll play the game with you. I'll have some fun.
My first. So yeah. He's so square.
Now, I love how off guard he was. Hey, you know what, though, for you, though? Okay, ready? Fuck, marry, kill. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren.
I'm fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg for the story.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Damn, am I really that transparent?
Damn, I knew you were nasty.
Like, I just want to... Oh, wait. I got to be careful because you're a girl. I
guess so. That's kind of sexist.
I got to be careful. Because I was about to say, like, the reason why.
Yeah, oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just for the story. All right. I would jail Elizabeth Warren. Oh, wow. So that means I got to marry...
You got to marry Kamala. Hey, she's kind of cute though. She's really pretty, honestly.
She's not really my type.
No.
Nah. I'm more of a well, she's a dingbat, but I'll just do what my dad did, what my mom ignore.
A classic move.
Like, you know what? The Green New Deal. We gotta. Yeah. All right.
That's the core of any strong marriage is just, ignore. So that's beautiful. I love that.
I'm a romantic. What can I say?
I can tell.
So next question. When you started working for Infowars, did you experience like any racism from, not from inside Infowars, but like whenever you would like go out and do like remotes or if people, right.
Yeah. When I go out on the street with the mic and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first started out, doing Man on the Street. So I would go to UT Austin and I'd go ask people just simple questions like, hey, what do you think about the Green New Deal? What do you think about Kanye West and his recent comments on Trump, stuff like that. And I feel like people are they're pretty nice to me for the most part. But of course, once they saw that Infowars emblem, they would start screaming at me about like gay frogs, stupid stuff like that. So of course, that's more of what I face. But there were a couple of times when I would be out with Owen. Owen would be debating topics such as immigration or the wall, and people would ask me, like as an Asian woman or as a Mexican woman, how can you support this? How can you support this racism? Because again, I've never necessarily came out and said that I was a Trump supporter or worn a Make America Great Again hat. And that I think ties into all of the violence that's tied to that, the MAGA hat and everything. I see the stories every single day, and it honestly kind of scares me out of wanting to wear anything like that or represent Trump because people are so hateful. So, outside of questions like that, which, I kind of just dispute because I really hate when people try to put me into a box where, you're brown, so you should hate Trump. You're brown, so you should be pro-immigrant or, open borders. Yeah. So, outside of that, not really. I think you did see that one clip where I was in San Diego and I was doing coverage on the border over there because this was when that migrant caravan was coming through to Tijuana, and they sent me down there to go ahead and report on it. And I had studied for hours on the plane from so many different news sites so I could get the most factually correct news reporting, and I could just go down there and talk about how this is how many migrants are coming. This is what's happening in Tijuana. This is why the citizens don't want them there. It was just extremely factual, non-biased at all. And I even went to the border without my Infowars mic because, our producers said, hey, like, it's just you and a camera guy. For your safety, like, don't go out with the emblem or the mic. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just standing there. I'm asking people questions. I'm doing a live stream. And, people are asking me. There's probably like 20 people on the beach, but they're spread out. So it doesn't look like there's that many people there. And people start asking me, oh, well, who are you with? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not, I'm doing a live stream. So I'm like, I'm with Infowars. I'm just out here trying to ask people what their opinion on all of this is. And word spread along that beach, because like I said, the people were spread out, and word spread, and everyone started coming up to me and they swarmed me and they all like got around me. And these two guys, like grown-ass men, they start screaming in my face about how I'm a racist, like Alex Jones this, Alex Jones that, how could I work for such a bigot, racist, blah, blah, blah. And they were calling me a white supremacist. And honestly, I almost started crying on camera. And I was like, you know what? I need to cry on the inside like a winner and, just get this live stream done. It's not a big deal. But yeah, people, I think that was the most hatred I had gotten. And again, like I said, there was no like gotcha question that I was asking people. There was no, these are illegal immigrants that are pouring into our country, ruining us. None of that. Solely factual. And I was still screamed at, called a white supremacist. And it was ridiculous. And again, of course, keep in mind, these are white people that are screaming at me about this. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in. That's all, folks. I mean, I'm in New York City, and I wore a MAGA hat on the subway, and the most I've ever gotten was a white lady looking at me, looking at the hat, pissed off, and then looking at my face and having a
Dude, it's always white people. I cannot stress that enough. Like, okay, can I tell you this story too really quick? So your girl went to White Guilt Church the other day. Yesterday, actually. I was supposed to go on the War Room. Sorry. I'm like running over you right now. What's up?
No. You said White Guilt Church. I was about to start singing. They try to make me go the White Guilt Church, and I said no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. So I moved to Austin 9 months ago, and I've been trying to find a good church since, because I lived in San Antonio prior to moving here. Big Mexican community over there. Like, everyone's super chill. The vibes are really good. I love San Antonio. So I moved over to Austin. It was super different. I genuinely didn't even realize that I was like a brown person until I moved over here, and there was just like hella white people. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
They're not white people. They're called hipsters.
Yeah, exactly. They got the beards going on, everything. Yeah. But basically, I've been trying to find a good church ever since I moved over here. I've been here for, I think, like 9 or 10 months now. And me and my friends from work were like, hey, like, we heard about this church. And my one friend, Justin, he was like, oh, yeah, like, I heard Matthew McConaughey goes here, so let's go. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going for, the sermon, but we can go for Matthew McConaughey too, whatever. So we go to this church, and the worship leader starts singing, and he's like, oh, it's been really on my heart that I want to talk about the racial divide in America today. And I'm just like, oh, okay, here we go. And of course, I do believe that there is a racial divide in America, and, in the church especially, we should come together. We should bring light to those issues. But of course, what they ended up doing was, hey, we're going to turn the mics around, and while we're singing this song, we want you to come forward and talk about racial division or racial tension that you've experienced. And so, of course, like, the first guy that speaks is the worship leader, and he's like, honestly, every single time I see a singer who has chains and baggy pants on, I automatically think that their morals don't align, and I just think that's super racist, and I shouldn't be like that. And I'm like, all right, whatever, cool, okay, congratulations. And then these white people start coming up all crazy, and this lady goes, look, everyone, as a member of this community who is white as snow, and after that comment, I tuned out. Don't know what she said after that. I was really ready to leave. I was about to get up, and then this guy goes up there, and he's like, you know what? I want to come up here and talk about this story. My son swung at a police officer, and then he ran away. And then the police officer caught him, and he swung again, and he lived to tell that story because we're white. And at that point, I was pissed, and I got up, and I was like, let's go. We're leaving this dumbass church. Like, I'm done with this. I hate more than anything when people push that victimhood mentality. Oh, yeah. And you know how life at Infowars is. It's politics 24/7, and the one place I don't want politics and this victimhood pushed down my throat is at church. So that just really enraged me. And that was my Sunday yesterday. It was wild.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've gone to several churches here in Austin, and it always goes back to that. It's like, oh, like God is to accept all people. So immigration, we need to have open borders. And I'm just like, okay, like, do not use Jesus to, push your political beliefs on people and to try to push this victimhood mentality, push that America is a white supremacy-led country, because that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Jesus reject becoming a king? When Satan
exactly
when Satan tried to part of the final temptation.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. It's just like the church should be all about equality. And again, I see where they were coming from, wanting to bring light to racial division. But to me, I always look at that as, them trying to perpetuate that, again, we live in a country where white people are supreme, where black people or brown people are getting arrested for walking on the streets, when that is not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I go through similar. I mean, not at church because I was raised Jehovah's Witness, so they're taught to stay separate from politics.
Exactly.
So there's none of that. I mean, that's why I know how to say some words in Polish, because the congregation we went to had a Polish congregation, and all the older women just loved me when I was a kid. They're like, "Oh, my Louis."
Naturally.
Of course, I'm very easy to love. So humble brag. No, it's just, but I mean, once at first I started like supporting Trump as like kind of like my protest towards society as a whole, like especially in New York, like everyone, like you have like I'm sounding like Ocasio-Cortez right now, like we're all gonna be dead in 12 years, no.
Damn, exactly. That's why you gotta live your life to the fullest right now,
But I do stand up comedy, and then when I was, I would come out and I'm wearing the Hillary for Prison T-shirt, and I would get messages on Facebook from brave guys, from brave white men, saying calling me a race traitor. Yep. I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me? Like, how do you know? Oh, or my favorite line that I hear from everyone: "Oh, you're voting against your own interests."
Yep, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Have you ever gotten that? Or I mean, at most.
Luckily, I haven't. But like I said, I haven't been as vocal about my political beliefs. I mean, if people ask me about it, of course, I'm going to talk to them about it. And I think after the State of the Union as well. That made me a lot more pro-Trump. I was really happy with everything that he had to say, with a lot of things that he had to say, because he has done a lot of good for our country. And I think, too, because any conservative person or anyone that actually has two pairs of eyes will see that the media has been very, very biased of the president, and they refuse to cover any good things that he has done, which I think is really unfair. And I think I kind of get that from you, too. It's just like the counterculture, like, okay, if you tell me that I have to hate Trump because he's a racist, I'm going to prove to you why I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and especially with my own eyes, I've only experienced racism, not from the people they say are racist, but from the people that say, well, I voted for Obama. Like, okay. Like, but if, and I don't know if you know anything about Brooklyn, the stoop is sacred. The stoop is sacred ground. Like, if you have a stoop, you treat it well. But if someone comes and invades your stoop and leaves their motherfucking Starbucks cups,
oh my gosh,
and like you see them and like, hey, can you not sit here? And don't leave your trash. Oh, dude, it's totally gonna be okay. I'll take it with me, and they don't take it with them. You might as well spray paint the fucking swastika on my damn door. Like, I swear
that's
to
serious,
God.
huh?
Yeah. No. I've like, when I lived in Brooklyn, that was especially these white hipsters, I get sucia. Like, I'm saying, like, this.
Yeah, you know what? I feel that people, I swear, like, people always walk into my house with their shoes on, and I'm like, you're nasty. Like, take that shit off at the door. I cannot do this. No.
It's
so
worse.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, no, it's worse because I'm like, I used to live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Now that's like, now it's hipster town, USA now.
Right.
But like, when these people started moving in, I'm coming home from work and I see this chick drunk off her ass, dropping trowel on the side of my house.
Damn, what kind of ghetto ass neighborhood?
It wasn't even like that. It wasn't even like that. And when my dad was friends with the crackheads and the drug dealers, they in fact, I got in trouble once because a crack whore fucking told on me. She's like, your son was cursing at the store. I'm like, motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
Weren't you just doing the speedball? Damn. So anyways, No, so I saw this white lady, peeing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, stop staring at me, pervert. I'm like, what? I was running to get the hose, but she already left by the time I got out.
Sounds like modern day San Francisco.
It was like, they got no respect. That's the thing. They got no respect, and yet they think they have the right to tell you what to do, tell you how to think. And if you don't think your way, I mean, they'll call you a spick, and they'll do it behind Facebook, of course.
Right. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite things about social media is that it's so easy to call out anyone that you want to. And I don't know, it's just so petty. And I think the more and more I get on air, the more people will call me out on Twitter and just say rude things to me. But honestly, I live for it. I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Oh, well, it's really getting me pissed off because it's not so much of the content of what they're saying. It's that they feel so bold and then they block you afterwards.
Yeah, see, luckily I haven't been blocked yet. I feel like that would just piss me off. I have had people say, oh, I bet Savannah's going to block me now because, I'm attacking her. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to impede your First Amendment right to be an asshole. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, no, so, I mean, but has anything like that ever happened? Has Owen ever spoken to you in an inappropriate way? Because that would hurt me.
In a what way?
Inappropriate way.
Nah, dude. Me and Owen are straight. We're chilling.
Okay.
He's the best.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Because, I would hate to have to call on the ancestors.
Nah, dude. He's chilling. I really appreciate him too. Just because, I've gone on air with him as well. Mm-hmm. Because he and I will go and shoot interviews together sometimes, or we'll go to city council and talk about Planned Parenthood, which is something that we're doing again this Thursday. And sometimes people will approach me and they'll ask me why are you with Owen? Blah blah blah. Like, why are you with this guy? He's so abrasive. You don't have to do things this way. And so I'll talk to people, and I feel like sometimes Owen is really abrasive, and we'll talk about that a lot on air. And I think one of the biggest things that I do appreciate about him is the fact that he does use his platform to, I guess, accentuate everyone's voice, even those that don't match his, because, again, there have been so many times where I've gotten on air and I'm like, Owen, you're wrong, or you're too abrasive, or the tactics that you use aren't helpful to, the conservative party, I don't think. And he'll talk to me about why he thinks that I'm wrong, and it's a good conversation. We fight on air. It's good,
Yeah, actually,
we need that in America today.
I was actually watching that video on your channel today, which is why part of the reason why I asked, where your politics are at. Yeah, no, but honestly, I'm just a guest, but there comes a point where, especially in Owen's case, where he's had guns drawn on him and people chest bump him. Like, you can only be peaceful, but for so long. I know if I went to a park, which is an open public park, and I had people chest bumping me and pulling out weapons, I would not be a nice person anymore after that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. I do understand that with Owen, it's a lot different. I'm the person that took the video of that girl grabbing him by the balls at the Women's March. So I understand why he is the way that he is. But there are some times, too, where people are just, straight chilling, talking to him, and he, mishears them. He gets mad, and I'm like, dude, chill. But I get it. And that's what has made him so successful, too. Like, people like watching that stuff. Everyone lives for the tea. So he's really good at delivering that.
Yeah, I like, he has a whole bunch of compilations of mic drops and, making girls cry just by not doing anything.
I watched that video. Yeah, he didn't do anything. Those girls were just babies.
Like me, I'll just, I'll be like, there's only two genders, bye. And they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe there are men that still exist like that. It's just,
I know, it's 2019. How dare you? What's wrong with you?
It's so easy to troll. That's the one thing I love. It's so easy to troll these people.
No, it really is. When I was at the Women's March, this white girl was trying to debate me on things and why we should have open borders. She kind of started getting aggressive. And I was like, excuse me, your white supremacy is showing. As a brown woman, you should not be allowed to speak to me this way. Like, not. And she was just like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And she apologized. And I was like, don't be a dumb bitch. That's dumb bitch energy. Like if you're gonna debate me on something, debate me. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you because of a skin tone. Okay?
Get your dumb bitch energy T-shirts in the Infowar store.
Yeah.
It has a picture of Ocasio-Cortez being a dumb bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. I remember when in 2008, just side thing, when I met Alex Jones for a 9/11 event, because I used to be a member of We Are Change. You know, and you know, I couldn't help but like make jokes because he was wearing a shirt so tight that I could have sworn he stole a woman's size from the Infowar store.
Nah, dude, his muscles are just so big. Like he's just so jacked up on life and all of our supplements that he's just always bursting through any shirt he wears, dude.
This was before
right?
this was before the supplements. That was fat.
Dude, yeah, he's been jacked, okay? He's been jacked. If you go look at old pictures of him, like back in the day when he was younger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the man's is jacked.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like, yo, when's he gonna start selling ice cream? I have the perfect name for the ice cream, Terror Swirl.
Okay, explain that to me though.
Terror Swirl? Okay, he has a documentary called Terror Storm.
Ah, okay.
So Terror Swirl. I'm old school. I go back. I go way back.
Dude, yeah, see, I had no idea who Alex Jones was until 9 months ago. Like, literally in my interview, they were like, hey, have you ever heard of Infowars? And I was like, nah, dude. And they were like, watch the videos and tell us if you want to work here still. And I was like, okay. And it was actually really funny because, I didn't really understand, the gravity or the... Mm-hmm. Yeah, of like who Alex was. And so the first time I met him, he just walked right up to me. He was like, hey, like, are you our new reporter? I'm Alex Jones. Nice to meet you. And I was just like, hey, what's up, dude? Nice to meet you. And then I told all my friends, and they were like, you met Alex Jones? I was like, yeah, I work for him. Like, he's a pretty chill man. And, you know, everyone's like fangirling over him. And he's a chill man, dude.
So, actually, if you could ask him something, can you ask him that Louis B requested if he could rehire Jack Blood and Mike Rivero? That'd be fantastic.
I don't know who either of those two people are, but I will see what I can do for you, okay?
Yeah. I mean, he could tweet at me and yell at me if it's a no. I don't mind. But
okay.
But yeah, you know, how's about we go deeper into that? How did you get the job at Infowars? How was the interview process?
It was great. I mean, like I said, I graduated in 2017 with my bachelor's degree in journalism. Nice. And I didn't have a job for a year. I went back to San Antonio. I was living at home still, and I was doing freelance work. I luckily had a couple of connections, so I started working under a videographer, and I was working in restaurants at that time. And then, like I said, and dude, I'm a firm believer that if you put things out into the universe, and I know I always say the universe too, I'm very religious, like it should be God, and it is God, but I also like, you know, being like, put it out into the universe. But I told myself, you know, I want a job by May, because that would have marked 1 year since I graduated. And so April, I get this call, and like I said, they're like, hey, like, we're with Infowars, we're a political show. Are you interested in an interview? Look up our videos, kind of let us know what you think. And I looked it up, and at first I was kind of hesitant because it did look a little bit wild. But you know what? I'm also a firm believer in not saying no to opportunities, because you never know what's going to come of them. So I said yes. I had a great interview, and I got hired. And it's been chill ever since.
So I mean, I can't fucking talk today. Damn, I'm sorry.
Damn, are you nervous because I'm that cute? I know you can't see me, but I know my presence is intimidating. I'm just kidding.
Well, I was about to be very honest right now, but never mind. So, no, trust me, everybody's gonna be like, Louis, how come you get all these hot chicks on your show? So, you're welcome. That was a compliment. I'm just let me stop.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But how was the first meeting with Alex Jones?
Well, like I said, that second interview, I was in studio. I was just chilling there. And he just walked up to me, shook my hand, and I thought nothing of it because, like I said, I really didn't know who Alex Jones was. And I still think to this day, just because I don't know, I'm used to him. I see him every single day, so it still doesn't really, I guess, hit me just like, who he is, I guess.
He's just another cabrón. I understand.
Yeah. But he's wild, and, I think it's so crazy because one day I'll see him in studio, the next day he's on Joe Rogan's podcast with 8 million views, and it's so wild, every single day is unpredictable, and I think that's why it's really interesting to work there, because I'm definitely a fast-paced person, and I get really bored really easily, and it's like 100,000% impossible to get bored at this job because every single day is wild.
What is the craziest thing that has happened to you since started working at Infowars?
Probably the San Diego trip where I went and got screamed at, and that whole trip was just wild too because our camera guy just told me, he was like, "Hey, would you be down to go to San Diego tomorrow and report on the border?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." So within like 6 hours, I was on this flight. We were there for a night or two. The Women's March was also a really cool experience as well, just because I've never been to D.C., I've never really been into politics or protests or anything like that, so it was all a very new experience for me, and then to see Owen get grabbed by the balls was pretty wild too, so, just making memories every day.
How did he not slug her? Because that, like, my reflexes would have just, like, as soon as, I felt something, I'm going in the direction of where the boys are being honked at.
I don't know. He has a lot of restraint.
Yeah.
He actually has a lot of patience. I mean, he goes out and he talks to these people all the time. So I think he's used to it at this point. I think there's only one time where I've ever seen him kind of like push back on someone. And it was this one day we were at this, I think it was an SPLC or ACLU event. And this guy came and he grabbed my mic out of my hand and I got pissed. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like people touching me. I don't like being disrespected. So, of course, I pushed him back and then he pushed me back. And then Owen was like, okay, no. And then Owen like kind of got in between and was like about to go in on this guy because he pushed me,
Wow, that guy was lucky you're not Dominican because you would have pulled out a knife.
If I had one, I would have, but no. I'm just like low-key crazy Mexican. Just very low-key.
Oh. Music makes you what?
I said that music's making me want to go to the club, and it's only Monday.
See, you got the Latina in you. It's deep. It's ingrained. You can't.
Oh yeah, no, I know. The thing I'm most sad about living in Austin is that there's no fun places to dance here. Like in San Antonio, there's so many dance clubs and they all play Selena, and like, oh my gosh, I would just get so down to that. And here, it's like freaking Green Day and The Killers, and I'm like, what is this? And it's just like a bunch of people just like bobbing up and down, straight chilling. I'm like, nah, I can't rock with this.
Damn. I like them. I like them both. I could get down with Selena and Green Day and The Killers, especially if they remix The Killers in a house beat.
I agree with that, but I just also feel like, when you listen to like Latin music, you want to move your hips more, and it makes you want to move a little bit more. I don't know. That's just me.
No. I totally get that. I mean,
you get it.
Yeah, my father he teaches salsa. My mom used to teach me salsa every day of my life. I grew up with I still listen to some salsa. I listen to you might I don't know goodness cumbia. You guys are into cumbia? No, that's Cuban. What are Mexican music genres?
Dude, I don't know. Whatever like Maluma or Selena is, like, that's what I'm listening to. I feel like I'm always listening to like very mainstream music. So I guess whatever's trending in terms of that.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been listening to a lot of salsa lately, but mostly salsa in English. So they'll be like they'll like do a cover of salsa cover of Adele salsa cover.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll get in trouble if I play it, but okay, we got a yes, Ron, we are live. Are we live? Yes. If you want to, if you guys want to call in, you want to take callers?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Okay, if you guys want to call in, text first. Text 347-927-6824. That's 347-927-6824. Just send a text first, and then I'll call you because for some reason I can't fucking pick up shit because, it's a pain in the ass.
All good. It's Monday. We get it.
Yeah. Or if you guys want, I have the Discord open. So go to the Crowd Shot Radio Show on Discord, find it, and you get in on the conversation. But yeah, so it's. Do you are you like really in touch with your roots?
Kind of. My dad always calls himself a fake Mexican because he doesn't speak Spanish. Both of my grandparents do.
Tampoco. Oh man.
Yeah. And then I grew up in California a little bit, but more of my dad's family, who is like more culturally Mexican, they all live over there. So all my cousins are they're super about the culture. But my mom, her family, like I said, she comes from the island of Guam, so she's Chamorro. So I feel like culturally I identify more with them because I grew up eating more Chamorro food, listening to Chamorro music, listening to the language a little bit. So I feel like that's more of, what I identify with, I guess. I don't know.
So do you at least understand a little bit of Spanish? Like, do you understand more than you can speak?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I was the same way. I mean, I just recently started learning Spanish because I wanted to get in contact with, not contact, but get more in touch with my roots, where I came from, with the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I get it's part of it becomes part. It's part of your identity. I don't want to be identity politician or whatever the term would be. But it is important. It is where you come from and part of where you are, what shapes your thinking. Especially being Puerto Rican. I mean, I know most of the people on the island they all vote Democrat because they get free shit. But in actuality, most of them are culturally conservative.
Right.
They're all Catholics. They even though there is this one town in Puerto Rico where you have Sephardic Jews, which I don't know. I felt a sense of pride when I was in Crown Heights a few years ago, and this, I was, doing a little side gig for this Jewish old girls school, and a guy comes up to me and he starts talking to me in Spanish. I'm like, wait, that's a Puerto Rican accent. It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, we got Puerto Ricans here. It's like, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then I ask him, and then I'm asking him the question: do you know what penin is? Oh, okay, it's roast pork, and it's like one of our staples, especially during the holidays and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, how do you not eat penin? He's like, I just don't. It's like, but it's delicious. I just don't. We eat something else. Like, huh? Well, all right. But yeah. So,
dude, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I feel like of course, being Mexican, you can't be a picky eater when you are Mexican. And my friends, I always try to get them to eat lengua because I think it's the most delicious thing. But then when they find out what it is, they refuse to eat it, and they're just so grossed out by it.
For those of you that don't know, lengua is pig tongue. I mean, cow tongue. Cow tongue. Lengua in English means tongue.
Dude, but it's bomb. My dad makes a good ass lengua. He cooks it. He slow roasts it in the oven for 8 hours. And of course, I can't look at it. Whenever he's picking it apart and it still looks like a whole ass tongue, like I cannot look at it or I won't eat it. But when it's like all shredded up in front of me with tortilla and beans, yeah, I fuck with it. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
I'm sorry, that made me laugh. I can't look at it when it looks like a whole ass tongue.
Dude, I can't. It's gross. I'm like, ew, what is this? And when it's like laid out on the counter all nasty, I'm like, why? Who thought? Like, let's eat that.
Hey, like, no, it's like when you're broke, no part of the animal goes wasted. I mean, I'm surprised we don't eat pig toto.
Oh my gosh.
Just... And that's the only dirty joke I'm gonna say.
Thank you for that. You're a wild animal, dude.
This is why I get in trouble a lot. this is why. But yeah. Oh, Ron says hi, Savanah and dude. I guess
Ron?
Ron. I guess he's your friend because I just get that? Dude. So hi, Ron. Yeah. So, what else do I got? Okay, you already discussed what does the familia say about your employment? What have you experienced? Like, what is the worst? Like, I know. Have you thought about doing your own show on Infowars?
Alex has mentioned it to me a couple of times, but honestly, I think I do kind of want to branch out and start doing my own stuff on my own YouTube channel. Even before you had called me up tonight, I was kind of just messing around with, some audio stuff and doing some things because I have really been wanting to do my own podcast just after work where I go over the news, some of the biggest things that went on throughout the day. So I'm kind of thinking of branching out and doing something on my own, just because I don't know if I have enough political knowledge to have my own show under Alex. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go on and I'll comment with Owen and everything, but I really like my position and where I'm at there.
Well, you just pick, and I don't mean to mansplain, but, you just pick what you know.
Like one specific thing that you know about.
Yeah, like Caitlin Bennett, she talks about guns and guns and abortion and, having a chicken beak.
Dude, yeah, well, see, like, I think that if I did have my own show, and I always tell everybody this, one of my favorite shows is The Breakfast Club. And so if I had my own show, I think I'd really want it in a format like that. I love talking to people. I love having an open conversation. So a conversation or a show that, kind of revolves around 2 or 3 people conversing, talking about topics, maybe debating them a little bit. That's something that I'd really, really like to do. So until then, I think I might just, practice doing my own thing on my YouTube for a little while. We'll see what happens.
Savanah Hernandez in interviews.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you get different people on your show. I mean, you have, like, maybe you set up a camera somewhere and you have sit down interviews, have some Bustelo ready. Wait.
Yeah, exactly. And look, my contacts list is already expanding, so I'll get you on. It'll be great. You'll be one of my guests.
Yeah. Wait. Do Mexicans drink Bustelo, or that's just us?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe.
Okay. Well, this is your homework.
Okay. Thank you. I'll write that down.
Yeah. Discover your people.
Will do.
Yes.
Well, like I said, I told you, I identify more with Chamorro people than Mexican people, so I'll have to look into that for sure. My cousin's coming down from LA in a month or 2, so I'm sure she'll inform me on all of this.
Nice. Yeah, just spend some time with Prima.
Exactly, dude. I miss her.
And now I'm teaching you how to speak Spanglish like I promised.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. What else? Goodness, I burnt through all my questions. So have you? What are your thoughts on the Proud Boys?
I guess the only person in relation to the Proud Boys that I've actually met is Gavin McInnes, and he's a super cool dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really haven't done too much research into their whole thing. I know what they're about. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like a frat group for like grown-ass men, but I don't know. I haven't done enough research into it, so I'm really not sure.
Yeah, it's like you're a grown-ass man. I look at you like you're like a whole tongue. I'm going to be laughing about that.
Yeah, I don't know why I have to put that phrase in front of things. It's, to emphasize on it. To emphasize that it's really like a whole ass thing.
It's like it's like a real tongue. Like that. Having it marinating for having it cook. Yeah, that's what we do with penin too. It's like we have it in the oven for 8 hours. They throw it in during the holidays, which because we can't have enough protein, especially on Thanksgiving. So it's
never enough.
Yeah, because you have turkey and then you have the pork, and it's like you're gonna.
Dude, see, my family, my Chamorro family, we usually spend Thanksgiving together. And they make a whole roast pig, and then we do turkey. We do, I think I've seen like duck or goose. So yeah, we do it all, dude.
So I mean, how has your Chamorro roots, affected your way of thinking, your decision making and stuff like that?
Well, I think Chamorro people on my mom's side of the family, they are more conservative as opposed to like my dad's side. And so, I mean, I guess that's kind of what has morphed my views too. My mom is a really big influence on my life. I was actually homeschooled, so I spent a lot of time with that woman. So of course, culturally and she really influenced me, really influenced my thought process. And so, I would say that's why I also lean a little bit more conservatively because of the way she was raised, where she came from, her culture as well.
All right. So what made you like, because, like I said, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness and, I became political. What kept you from not like deviating and becoming like a liberal, like especially in college where you have all these like leftist ideologies and trying to push you like, hey, save the whales, or the government should be paying for postpartum
healthcare, abortion,
postpartum abortion, or my really late term abortion. Like, be able to abort I should be able to abort my child at age 3.
Yeah, I'll answer your question, and then we should also get into that topic too, because like I said, on Thursday, I'm actually going to City Council to go address the mayor on that issue. Sure. But to get back to your first question, I think, like I said, my degree was in journalism, and I always noticed that there was a big need for factual news because news is always very, very biased. And I'm a very open-minded person. I went to school in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's right on the border. I literally went to Juarez for micheladas one time. It was like a 30, 40-minute drive. So I was in a border city. A lot of my friends were Mexican, like from Mexico, came to school there because it was really close. And I also watched a lot of them get really scared once Trump was elected and actually go back to Mexico out of fear that they were going to get deported. And this was an irrational fear because they were all there legally. And so I think I just saw all of this, I guess, fear that everyone had, and the fact that the media was a really big proponent in that. And every single time I would go and look at news as well, and I always just naturally did this, I would go and I would watch CNN, I would go watch Fox News, and then I would go to another source because I wanted to know what the actual news was. And so I think that's what kept me from becoming too liberal. And then at the same time too, I think I just have common sense. That's what it is, because when you get into the issues such as immigration or abortion, and immigration is one that I think is I do finally have a strong stance on, because I didn't want to say that I was anti-open borders for a long time, because it goes into the whole like, oh, well, I'm Mexican too. I have aunts and uncles who are from Mexico. I even have like an uncle who's here illegally. Like, this is something that directly affects me. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think that it goes down to having common sense and knowing the factual, like what open borders actually looks like, what a late-term abortion actually looks like, what the statistics of Planned Parenthood actually are. And I've just always been very inquisitive about that. I've always wanted to be informed on what it was that I was supporting. And so, and I think with a lot of liberal and democratic people, I think that they're very empathetic and compassionate people, and they want open borders because, you know, they see the stories of women and children who are just having these awful lives, and they're just trying to come and seek asylum, and that's what the media is feeding them. And so a lot of them are just compassionate people who want free health care for all, open borders, you know, women's health care, women's rights, equality. But the thing is they're not informed on it. And so, like I said, I've always made it a point to be informed. And when you get informed and you actually go and you research these things for yourself and you understand the reality of, I guess, the things that Democrats push for, then I feel like any person who has a brain would understand or not be a liberal or a Democrat and understand, like, why I didn't change my mindset throughout college.
Cool. So... with that being said, I mean, earlier you said you were a libertarian. How do you negotiate? And I know this is going to sound like a dumb question. This is a devil's advocate question. How do you negotiate being a libertarian and I'm assuming being against late-term abortion?
Right. Well, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily identify as a libertarian. Like I said, I don't really have a political stance that I identify with right now because I'm really not sure. But again, I think it goes into more, I don't support late-term abortion because that's a person too, and that person has rights, and they have the right to life. And I think that when we get to the point in society where we deem a fully formed child as a non-viable fetus that we can kill, then we've just gone too far in society and we're taking the rights away from that living being.
So what's the plan? Well, not the plan, but what do you hope to accomplish at the city council meeting on Thursday? And can people go and join you?
Yes, so I'm going to be going to City Hall in Austin. We'll be there at noon. I'll be there with Owen Schroyer. I've been trying to get a lot of attention around this because I really want people to come and address the mayor. And I think what I am trying to accomplish with this, because I've talked to one of the people that works for Texas Right to Life, which is a bigger organization that's working with legislators to get bills passed that it's going to stop Austin City Council from giving Planned Parenthood this special treatment. Because the reason I'm going there is because they're giving $1 rent away and basically taxpayer-owned property to, you know, a corporation that kills kids, that has been caught on camera harvesting fetal tissue and selling it. And they even get $500 million in taxpayer funds every single year. So I'm just like, okay, my thing is whatever. If Planned Parenthood, if we're sending taxpayer dollars to it, that's the thing. It's like it goes against my religious beliefs to fund an organization that kills children. I'm not against anyone who wants to have an abortion. I personally don't think it's right. I think it's really wrong. I think that it's awful, and I really do want to cry anytime I look at abortion videos or statistics because it is really awful. But at the same time, we do live in a country where everyone has their own free will and their own rights to do what they want with their bodies, I guess, if you want to put that in quotes. So, yeah, what I hope to get from all of this is to show the mayor that this isn't an issue that spans just one or two people, to show him that there's a lot of people in this city that actually oppose what they're doing for Planned Parenthood. And I just want our voices to be heard because Owen goes in front of the mayor just scoffs at him. And I think that more than anything is what infuriates me the most because this was kind of an issue that I was on the fence about. I was like, I don't know. Because abortion is another thing I've had to take more of a firm stance on. Yeah. But again, when I saw the mayor and his indifference to us being there and his just total dismissal of his constituents and their viewpoints that just really upset me, because I was like, this is a person who's supposed to be the voice of the people. So why are you laughing us off when we're coming forward, with an issue that directly affects all of us? So I want to make it a big thing. We'll see what happens. And I think Owen and I are just going to keep going to city council. But even further, we're going to work with that organization that's working on getting bills passed to stop the city from doing this.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, because I do identify as a libertarian. In fact, since Ron Paul ran, and then I started looking more into libertarianism, because he made a lot of sense. But when it comes, especially when they legalized late term abortion here in New York, I couldn't be on the fence anymore. I'm like, wait a minute. At what point, like you said, at what point does the baby have rights? And I'm not coming from anything religious, just scientific. I believe it's a life as soon as the sperm meets the egg.
Right.
But the thing is, when you're talking about late term abortion, I've Googled it. I see how they do it.
Exactly, and that's the thing. People are not understanding what this really is. And I think abortion as a whole, if people have never watched it, I would highly recommend them go watch this video. I think it was by Hi Ho on YouTube. And it's this lady explaining to little kids her abortion. And she just says, oh, it was like a dentist appointment. There was just a little suction, and then I heard a little, like suctioning noise, and it was done. And that's what they try to do. They try to mask abortion as just a simple procedure, just like a dental appointment. And that's not what it is. No. So if you're on the fence about abortion, I would just highly recommend to people to go get informed, because it's something that they're trying to blanket and like put down as something that isn't as bad as it really is. And again, I never fully understood just how awful abortion was until I went and I watched videos. I looked at images and I was like, wow, we're really killing innocent children. And like you said too, in New York, they legalized it, and they said, post 24 weeks, the abortion is only okay if it affects the woman's health or there's no fetal viability. Well, what happened to that? The fetal viability was a very important aspect of that, I thought. But then literally a week later, we saw Governor Ralph Northam come forward and say, oh, it doesn't matter if the woman's in labor. Yeah. Meaning, that baby would be viable. We can still kill it.
Yeah, the most horrific of the abortions, in my opinion, is the partial birth.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't. I can't just be like, well, her body, her choice. I'm a man. I don't have a right to say what a woman does with her body when it comes to abortion. And I'm like, no. It's a life. I'm sorry, it's a life. It's a baby. Like, if she was raped, I still don't believe that it's right at this point. Even if it was she got pregnant because of rape, I can't.
Right. I can't. See, and that's always kind of my big issue too. Just because, just the other day, I was reading a story about an 11-year-old girl in Argentina who was raped. And she begged for an abortion. They didn't grant her one. She had to carry the baby. And again, rape is never the baby's fault. And it is always difficult when a life has to be taken for it. But I'm also a firm believer that everyone has the right to make their own choices with their body. Because again, I don't think abortion is right at all. I think it's awful. I think it's terrible. And I do think it should be outlawed. But at the same time, I can't dictate what other people do with their body.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if you saw that meme. It's of a pregnant woman, and there's like one bracket that says her body, and then another bracket that is pointing out to her womb with the baby is like not her body.
Right.
So it really is hard, because at one point you want to respect a person's freedom, but also you want to respect the other person, the unborn person's freedom as well.
Right. And I know I keep hearing myself saying that too, like, oh, I don't want to tell someone what to do with their body, but you are right in the sense where that isn't their body anymore. And I think the biggest issue too is that, a lot of the times these abortions, they're just, what do they call them? Convenience abortions.
Oh, yeah. Like I've said it before. When I talked to my god sister, who's a Democrat, by the way, and she agrees with me. It's like a lot of women do use abortion as a prophylactic.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's and that is hella wrong. That's, you know, it just disgusts me. Like, look, I'm 35. I still don't have kids. Why? Because I use a 50-cent piece of plastic or free.
Exactly. That makes all the difference. It really does.
You know, I've never even had a pregnancy scare. I mean, and the thing is, you know, it's like, oh, what about cases of rape? You know, at this point, I believe when it comes to that, prevention it costs more than the cure. There has
right.
And by prevention, I mean, you know, as silly as a lot of people are going to view this, women need to learn how to shoot. Either, or carry some type of weapon. If it's really that bad out there, where I mean, I don't know if anything's happened. God forbid, has ever happened to you. And I guess this is easy for me as a man to say because, you know, I'm never gonna get raped. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just really hard because, I mean, you know, in New York, you could barely defend yourself. If you like you saw what happened with the Proud Boys, they fought back, and 2 have already pleaded guilty to get a lesser charge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And again, I do kind of think that's the media perpetuating this huge rape culture. Because I did go into college and I was a little bit... Well, there have been so many situations that I've been in just because, you know, I was a dumbass college kid where I really could have been raped. And I don't know if it was by the grace of God or, like, my good friends that I wasn't. Or maybe it's the fact that the media is hyping up this rape culture that really isn't there. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that there isn't people getting raped on campuses or anything like that. But what I am saying is maybe... you know, this issue is... I don't even want to say more inflated... but yeah, I agree. Women should carry because, or have some type of self-defense because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And,
you know, just being a woman, like, you just need to be smart about it. You really do.
Like, I mean, well, according to Lauren Southern that I had on this show a few years ago, she has this video that there's no such thing as rape culture because it's punished. You know, most people view it as disgusting, as repugnant and cowardly.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly.
I mean, you know, I guess, you know, if any.
Well, that's a really good point. No one is out here saying that rape is a good thing. I mean, no one.
Yeah, I mean, except probably Roosh V, but you know, that's he's something wrong with him. But I mean, like, look, if something were to, if let's say, you know, you came to me like, you know, like I was your cousin, like, primo, this dude touched me. I'm calling all the tios. We're getting in one Toyota Corolla. We're strapping Grandpa to the roof, and we're driving, and we're forming Voltron, and we're killing this motherfucker. It's
dude,
it's like that's just not how things are done. It's like I you know, no one had to teach me that I shouldn't rape. I strangely already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Only because, and mostly because you are, I guess, call this patriarchy, call this toxic masculinity, whatever. It's like you're taught if you're female, you know, family members, if somebody's getting close to touching them, you fight them to the death.
Right.
And you better not be. And if you even think about doing it to another woman, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, that's, and it's not like I had to have a sit down. Like, you know, my mom didn't have to sit down with me like, Louis, don't rape.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, you know, it's just, wait for marriage.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen. But
Oh my goodness.
yeah. Like before, I eat the whole hog.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
I thought that was. Sorry, I lied. I thought I was only gonna say one. I just couldn't resist.
All good. I work in a room full of boys all day, so nothing phases me anymore.
Okay,
the amount of dick jokes that I listen to all day, it's wild.
Why does that make me laugh? I mean, do you get like uncomfortable with that though? There's like, oh god.
No, of course not. Well, I feel like you know how it is when you get a bunch of guys into a room that are all friends. Like, you know how it is. And no, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. And I think it's because, like, of course we all know each other. We're all friends. And so they joke with me all the time. I joke with them. And they're comfortable around me. I'm comfortable around them. That's why they joke like that, you know.
Okay.
And I think it's funny. I'm just like, y'all are so crazy.
Okay, just a quick question. Does Owen like, I got a feeling that him and Rob Dew are like really close. I sense that. I could be wrong.
I mean, I don't know. They worked together for a long time, so I'd imagine so. I feel like everyone's pretty not close at work, but, you know, we all talk to each other on a daily basis. We all deal with the same crazy stuff. We all have to communicate a lot. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of relationships, I feel like it's easy to get close to people there.
I get a feeling that there's like a lot of play fighting going on, especially after seeing Gavin McGinnis like mess around with Alex when he was in character.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was hilarious. I didn't even know that had happened, and then I just saw a video of Alex getting beat up, and I was like, what is happening? See, that's what I'm talking about. Every single day is wild. So unpredictable.
Do you just how many like while you're there and you see the guys just acting silly? Do you just like, oh Jesus, just roll your eyes?
No, I just laugh and I get back to work because you know someone's got to pay attention. That's me.
It just sounds like it would be a blast over there. Like, as long as you're getting your job done, it's just constant silliness.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun environment for sure.
Making sure Kelly Jones doesn't come by the fuck with Alex.
Oh, wait, who? Megyn Kelly?
No, Kelly Jones, his first wife.
Oh, see, yeah, I have not even delved that deep. I didn't even know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm OG, triple OG. Just knew everything.
Dude, I can tell.
Yes. So, anyways, what do you want to promote? Do you have anything to promote?
I mean, if people want to go follow me on Twitter, they can follow me at sav_says_. Anything that I post or do will be up on there. And, yeah, my YouTube, I'll eventually start putting things out on it. I know I need to get on top of it. Like I said, I'm trying to do my own, like, little radio show at night. So we'll see if that happens.
Well, if you need help, let me know. I'll make an intro for you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll do the voiceovers if you want.
Yeah, you have like a nice deep voice, good voice.
Yeah, I'll put a Puerto Rican accent, you know, or a Brooklyn accent, whatever you need.
I love it. I'll be in contact about that for sure.
Yep. Just, you know, let me know and I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
But, I hope you had fun. You know, it was fun having you on.
I did. I think we went through a lot of topics. It was really great to have this conversation with you. And I always really enjoy talking about my own stance about things with other people because, like, even with the whole, abortion thing, I think you kind of opened my mind to the fact that a fetus is still another person's body. So I'm glad we talked about that.
Yeah, it's that meme. You know, it's a meme. You know, it's her body and then not her body. It's
right.
Like, you know, you just had to take, well, you generally, but, you know, I had to take the stance like, look, I can't endorse this. I can't just be like all libertarian about it and be like, oh, well, you know, her body, her choice. It was It was passed by Roe versus Wade in the Supreme Court, so it means it's a right. Like, yeah, but like, you don't want to see a baby get hurt. I mean, it's like one of my favorite catchphrases that I kind of stole from comedian David Allen Greer is, "Let's save some babies."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no. See, and the thing is, and this is like so fucked up, but I don't even like little babies. They freak me out. They're just too like fragile, and I'm like, ugh. I don't know. I'm not good with little kids. But the thing is, and that's why I've always just been like, whatever. But no, like point blank, like it's so sad when you look into what abortion really is, and no baby ever deserves to die ever, and it's really so sad what's going on. So, I mean, we definitely need to just keep raising awareness about these issues and showing people and like waking people up to what it really is, because I think that's what it is. It's like people really don't understand what it is they're supporting.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, you know, and I'm low-key shooting myself in the foot, but, you know, like I said before, prevention costs more than the cure, and it would be, I guess, educating people against the whole hookup culture.
Right.
I think that's the main issue. Hookup culture, educating everyone, men, women, on, you know, not getting drunk.
Exactly.
Not getting drunk and not abusing drugs. If you're gonna smoke weed, do it at home. Do it with people you trust. Don't do it with you know, in the words of Uncle Ruckus, don't trust them new niggas over there. I mean, it's prevention. It just really comes down to having personal responsibility. And I mean, I'm not too sure about the statistics, because I tried looking it up, like how many women have conceived a child via rape. But I get the feeling, and I could be wrong, that it's probably not that common. I mean, I'm willing to believe that rape happens like a lot, and a bit, you know, not a bit too much. One rape is too much, but you know, I believe rape happens a lot, like an insane amount, because apparently the scary thing to me is like almost every woman I know has been raped. And that terrifies the hell out of me, because, you know, I have female family members, and I'd go to jail. I'd go to jail. Like, no, you're not going to see a trial. Don't worry about a trial.
Yeah.
But you know, but it's just, I think that's one way to go is promoting prevention somehow, in all the ways that, you know, women could forcibly get pregnant, or not forcibly, but, you know, just carelessly get pregnant.
Yeah, maybe better sex education. Not sure.
I think the sex education should be started at home. Like, I don't trust sex education in schools.
See, like I said, I was homeschooled, so I really don't know what sex education in school is like.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen online, from the many articles I wrote, you want to talk about wild. I mean, you got a teacher, you know, with a dildo with a class full of students, like showing them how to do like a pile driver and like different sexual positions and shit.
Good Lord.
And like how Alex even reported that in Russia they put a stop to it because there were some schools teaching you know, same sex and all that. And it's like they you know, and these schools will just do it without a parent's permission. Because I remember my parents had to sign a permission slip.
Wow.
In order for the school to be allowed to. Now they just don't even require a permission slip. They just indoctrinate you.
Right. That's crazy.
Like, I mean, look, I have nothing against homosexuals at all, but how's about you let kids like discover themselves like I had to discover myself?
Yeah, definitely.
Like naturally. Okay, if it's so natural to be gay, let them like, oh well, so that's what I like.
Yeah. I think that the push to teach younger children about transgenderism and the LGBTQ community, I just going into little kids, we should wait until they're a specific age to introduce sex and sex education and all of these things to them. Just because, when you're young, your mind is very malleable and you get influenced very easily.
Yeah, like I've had many. Well, I had two transgenders on this show. I had Evie Dixon, who's part of the Patriot Prayer in Portland, and I had one who was a former member of Antifa on the show, and they both said the same thing. Stop going out. You shouldn't be teaching little kids and trying to convince them to go through hormone therapy, because all you're doing is messing them up. If they decide as an adult that this is what's going to make them happy, like, more power to them.
Right.
Once you're fully developed as a person, you made the decision, like, I don't feel normal in this body, and I have to go through certain modifications in order so that way I don't kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I more power to you. I get that. You're an adult. I'll stay out of this. But, that's the thing that bothers me when it comes to abortion, when it comes to sex education. Leave the little kids alone. Like, what are they trying to normalize? I mean, I hate to sound like a Bible thumper, because, like, I'm really not that religious, obviously, if you hear the way I talk. But, wow.
Whew. Louis.
Yes, dear.
This was a good podcast. I feel like my energy levels just plummeted. The day just caught up with me, but I'm glad that we got through all of those topics. It was really great.
Yeah, no, it's fun. If whenever you want to come on, you now have an open invitation.
Oh, thank you.
All you got to do is, mira, Gordo. I'm like, yes. I want to get on. I'm like, all right.
I'll come on again for sure, and we can talk about more of the breaking news of today and just more topics like that. I really enjoy that.
Yes, dear. But yeah. So Savanah, again, love having you on. We definitely we got to do this again. If anybody wants to, like she said before, if anybody wants to follow her at twitter.com/Sav SAV for Savanah _ says SAYS _ and follow her. Do you have any other social media?
My Twitter is my main political social media account, so people can just follow me at that one. That one's good.
And what's your YouTube?
My YouTube is I think it's just Savanah Hernandez. Do you have a handle on YouTube? I don't know how that works. Yes, let me look. Real quick. It's Sav Says as well. Just Sav Says. No underscores.
No underscores. Sav Says. So it's youtube.com/Sav Says.
Yes, sir.
So follow her so that way, start building up her following so that way, she can see that there is a market for her opinions, and you're going to want to see her opinions. And, and you have an Instagram. No, that's not you.
I do have an Instagram. I don't normally plug it because that's more of my spring break pictures, family pictures type account. People can follow me there, but it's not very political or anything like that.
Okay, then don't worry about it. Or so. But anyway, Savanah, gracias para todo.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciated it.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Crotch Shot Radio Show. Come back Wednesday, where I'm going to be continuing exposing La Sangana, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, in the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Deception Part 2. And if you guys have been paying attention to the news, she's been getting caught doing extra shit. So come back Wednesday, same crotch time, same crotch schedule. And as always, from my house to... Where the fuck is it? Oh, okay. From my house to your house. Mahalo.
That's the end of my show. Donk.